Welcome to the Fear and Greed Business News Afternoon Report for Tuesday, the 15th of October 2024. I'm Sean Aylmer. Every afternoon, we've got the 5 stories that happened today that you need to know about. Story number 1, the local share market finished up nearly 1% today to a new record close of 8,318 points. The banks and the miners led the way, but there were plenty of positive stories out there. In corporate news, investment platform Business Hub24 jumped 2.5%. After announcing record quarterly net inflows of $4 billion, total funds under administration hit $113 billion, and the company said it's confident that it will meet its target of somewhere up to $123 billion this financial year. Ampol announced a $50 million cost-cutting plan to be rolled out next year. It came after the group reported a big drop in quarterly refinery margins as weak demand for some oil products and an outage weighed on the business. Its share price closed down 2%, and Tyro Payments' share price tumbled 13% after the federal government announced that it intends to crack down on debit card surcharges. Story number 2, there are media reports around today about the government wanting to introduce a flat daily fee for all childcare. It would be part of the government's push for universal childcare and goes against recent recommendations of the Productivity Commission. The Fin Review is reporting that flat fee options of $10 and $20 are being considered, as is the mechanism for moving from the current subsidy system to flat fees while maintaining capacity. The option would include removing the requirement for parents to look for work or do some training and is likely to trigger huge demand. Story number 3, Australians are being told not to travel to Israel and leave as soon as possible as hostilities escalate between the Jewish state and its neighbours. After a drone attack by Hezbollah breached Israel's Iron Dome air defence system, killing 4 soldiers at a military base in northern Israel, the Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade updated its travel advice for Israel. The advice says, and I quote, "We now advise do not travel to Israel and the occupied Palestinian territories due to the volatile security situation, armed conflict, civil unrest and terrorism. If you're in Israel, you should leave while commercial flights remain available, border crossings are open, and while it's safe to do so." DFAT warns that the situation could deteriorate quickly with little or no notice, and that could mean airspace closures, flight cancellations, diversions, and other travel disruptions. Story number 4, Telstra held its annual general meeting for its 1 million plus shareholders today, and new chair Craig Dunn said he'd support a sale of Foxtel, and the telco would consider paying shareholders a special dividend if that occurred. Mr. Dunn said the telco understood News Corp was undertaking a strategic review of the business, which could lead to a potential sale. That would include Telstra's 35% stake. He said that would be a sensible decision. According to a report in The Australian, Mr. Dunn said Telstra was continuing to focus on its core business, and Foxtel isn't part of that. Asked by a shareholder whether the sale would warrant a special dividend for shareholders, Mr. Dunn said the telco would consider it as it had in the past. And story number 5, until a week ago, you couldn't bet in the US on the presidential election. A court victory in Washington opened the market, and the money is flooding in with Donald Trump narrowly favoured over Kamala Harris. Financial exchange Kalshi, whose court victory opened up the market, is offering institutional investors the opportunity to put as much as $100 million on either Kamala Harris or Trump for a win in November. In the first days since the ban was lifted, more than $12 million has been wagered, and the company is in the process of setting up several institutional players on the platform, according to a report in the Financial Times. The amounts are expected to continue growing as Election Day nears and more traders are attracted to the platform. That's it for the afternoon report for Tuesday, the 15th of October, 2024. Don't forget to hit follow on the podcast and find Fear and Greed on LinkedIn, Instagram, X, TikTok, and Facebook. Join Michael Thompson and I tomorrow morning for the Fast 5 by Fear and Greed, the top 5 business stories you need to know in just 5 minutes. I'm Sean Aylmer. Enjoy your evening.